Hi, gorgeous souls. I am Lady Stars of Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa. Now, well, as you can see, I'm kind of driving, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but Spirit seems to come in and do a lot of its conversations with me when I'm driving, and so I'm bringing that stuff forward. That's all there's to it. So I'm not really looking at the screen too much because I am, trying to make sure I'm safe and pay attention to the road. But with that being said, I already did the weekly healing messages for this coming week, and that's actually for December 9th through the 16th. I already have that up on my YouTube channel and on Facebook and so forth. But Spirit's telling me, no, you gotta go back. But this is more like for December and for January. What I'm being told to give you. See, everybody's talking about the full moon right now. The full moon in Gemini, and it going straight across and having this conversation in Capricorn, where it's like a loaded pistol right now in Capricorn, and you got to understand, Capricorn is the foundation of the outer community. It's also where the honor, the reputation, the prestige comes in on a universal level, but Capricorn itself is the building blocks for success. It's not always, in fact, it's usually kind of cold energy, but it can be cold and it can be dry because it's very thorough. It very much is cut and dry, as in this is what needs to be done and this is the best way of doing it and here are the procedures and how. And this is why it's the building blocks. It is the formula for structure. It is the foundation that you have to create to make it last. And I'm always saying, soulfully, we're talking about building that foundation that lasts lifetimes. There's a reason why one of the reasons I say that is because I'm always speaking soulfully. Right now you've got Saturn and Pluto, Venus, Jupiter, and Ceres, all in Capricorn. And most people are not going to be talking to you about Ceres. Most astrologers leave that out. At least the ones that you typically are hearing and picking up from. And that's a very key point. I'm going to come back to that. Everybody's talking about it being the full moon right now in Gemini, and it's straight across from Venus as it crosses through Saturn and Pluto. Yeah, that's about to bring a whole shit ton of sensitivity in. That can be very positive. That can be also very not positive. That really depends on where you are on your path. Venus, I do not see Venus as love. I see Venus as sensitivity. She speaks to you about what your sensitivity is emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. She talks to you about ooey gooey, soft and chewy, and yay, I'm full of agape love. Or, wow, I'm very uncomfortable with that. You need to get the fuck right away from me. That is Venus energy. She's going to tell you why she loves it, and she's going to tell you why she despises it. Talking to Saturn, rules, walls, and boundaries, and are they set right? Do they need to be adjusted? Are they set at all? This is all about your relationships with the outer community. Right now, even though it's Saturn, even though it's Capricorn energy, it's still relationships all over the board. Anything outside of yourself that you deal with, you have a relationship with. Let's face it. So we're talking about the structure and the foundation and the building blocks of those relationships and how that affects you. Venus is crossing through these boundaries, these walls, questioning if they're good or bad. Why? Why are they that way? Do they need to change? And then coming closer to Pluto. Pluto is transformational energy for spirit. It's death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. You are walking the line right now as we go through this full moon. And this full moon is pulling in energies from Taurus and from Cancer, from that North Node and from Vista, the soul fire, as well as Uranus, which is in retrograde, going towards Eris, trouble, toil, strife, Medusa, versus your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. Where is it that you still fight and sink your teeth into the injustice and you can't let that shit go? And why the fuck can't you let it go? Because it's not healthy for you. It's sure not serving you. It's a bad habit that's standing between you healing yourself soulfully. Healing yourself soulfully and truly being able to step into independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, inventive nature of your own self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. How do you nurture yourself? But if you keep sinking your teeth into the trouble, toil, and strife that's stepped on your self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem and spit on you, then you're letting it win. Gemini energy right now is just going, it's Jekyll and Hyde. It's going, which side are we fucking on? I only want to have the hope for a new tomorrow, and I'm trying to gather the information from all of these energies and figure out what to emotionally tell you to do by stepping into your subconscious depths. But see, the thing that nobody's telling you or leaving out is as soon as the full moon's over, we're about to approach another eclipse season. At the end of the month, we have the eclipse, the solar eclipse. Then you have another eclipse in January. That's shadow period, people. This is completely ego versus soul, and it's time to walk the line. Do you have the balls and the courage to be what you want to be? To dig deep enough to go, you know what? You know what? That shit's just not working for me anymore. So, we got to let that shit go and cut these cords and make these changes. But for so many people, stepping into their true power, stepping into their true authentic self and making these changes that are so soulfully needed are too fucking hard. And they're going to make the wrong decisions. And I'm putting it out there like that. Because you already have been shown. You've already been shown what's good for you, what's not. What soulfully connects, what doesn't. What resonates and what harms. It's up to you and your free will to go, you know what? I'm going to muster the courage to love me. And see where in the world that just might take me. Because like I said, you're going to be walking the line between soul and ego. But the thing is, the way that these energies are set up, they're set up in just a way. They're set up in just enough of a way for you to start to question yourself. Start to question what's important to you. Start to question your true opinion, your true truths. But that's why it's an important time. This is a time of soul discovery. If you're courageous enough to capture it. See, and while we're walking through this, walking the line bit, Jupiter is magnifying everything. Jupiter doesn't own the sign. Yeah, he doesn't rule it. But Jupiter is still the higher abundance, higher knowledge, magnification, and manifestation in the energy. But what nobody is telling you, technically, Ceres Ceres isn't just karma. Ceres isn't just the threefold theory. Ceres is not just the threefold theory. She is not just karma. She is not just about speaking to you about what you have nurtured correctly and what has been neglected so that you can figure out what's best for you. Ceres is Pluto's mother. Not everybody always had good parents. This is also about how can I correct my mistakes? Pluto just didn't become transformational change on his own, according to mythology. That had a lot to do with Ceres. And that threefold theory, and the fact a lot was neglected. But there's always room for healing and nurturing the correct things, which then changes karma and the threefold theory, because you take a negative and you start to turn it positive. This is about realizing where we've walked the wrong line because we didn't know any better. We held on to it for too long. But now we're opening up our eyes, we're waking up, and we're starting to see it. The question is, will you be courageous enough to do anything about it? I love you guys. Bye.